The first time Uzor saw his dead wife again, she was standing inside their kitchen, smiling, but she had already been buried 3 days earlier. Uzor froze. The spoon in his hand dropped slowly to the floor. His wife did not move, did not blink. She only stood there, watching him. Then softly, she said, "You should have let poverty kill you." And suddenly, the kitchen light went off. Darkness swallowed everything. Uzor began breathing faster. His chest tightened. Then the light came back, and she was gone. That was the moment Uzor finally accepted the truth. Something had followed him home. Something that did not want his money. It wanted his family. But 4 years earlier, Uzor was just a poor boy from Umuaka, a place where poverty did not shout. It stayed quiet and slowly rearranged people's life until they stopped expecting more. His father's sickness started small. Frequent urination, long minutes in the bedroom. Then the blood came. Still, his father hid it. Men like him did not admit weakness easily. But the pain became unbearable. Soon, he couldn't sit comfortably, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat without holding his lower abdomen, like something inside him was tearing slowly. At night, Uzor would hear him breathing from the next room. Not screaming, just breathing, like every breath had to be negotiated. When they finally went to the hospital in Owerri, the doctor barely hesitated. Advanced prostate cancer. Treatment cost 3.5 million naira. Uzor nodded, but inside him, he knew they could not afford it. They sold everything, land, livestock, even the small farmland inherited from his grandfather. Still, it wasn't enough. His uncle stepped in, the most dependable man in the family, always present, always supportive. But even that help was not enough. The night his father died, Uzor stayed beside him, watching. His father gripped his hand painfully tight, eyes wide open, focused on something behind Uzor, something only he could see. Then suddenly, his grip loosened, and just like that, he was gone. The room became quiet, like something had just left with him. That night, Uzor made a decision. He would never be helpless again. Never. Months later, December arrived, and with it, Chike. Chike was more than a friend. He was history. They grew up together, played together, ate from the same plates. But years later, Chike left Umuaka with his uncle to search for a better life. Now he returned, different. A black SUV rolled into the village, clean enough to reflect faces. Chike stepped out slowly, designer clothes, a wristwatch that caught sunlight like he was alive. Shoes too expensive for that soil. People gathered immediately. Respect arrived before introductions. But Chike had not returned for celebration. He came to bury his mother. People said she didn't fall sick, didn't complain. She just stopped. And the house she died in felt strange, like something important had been removed from it. Something nobody could explain. Village women whispered whenever they passed the compound, even the elders, avoided speaking loudly there at night. For 2 days, Uzor begged him. I watched my father die helplessly. I will never experience that again. Please, help me. At first, Chike refused, avoided the conversation completely. But on the second night, he finally spoke. Quietly, carefully. There is something. I will take you somewhere. 2 days later, they traveled to Lagos, far beyond the crowded roads, far beyond familiar places, until they reached a shrine hidden deep inside a forest at the outskirts of the city. The air there felt heavy, like movement itself was being watched. Inside sat an old juju priest, thin, expressionless, eyes too calm. The old man looked at Uzor and said, nothing enters your life without something leaving another. Every gain is taken from somewhere else. Uzor did not fully understand, but desperation has a way of silencing caution. And that was enough. He said yes. At first, nothing happened. Then business improved. A small trade became profitable. Another day succeeded unexpectedly. Connections appeared too easily. People trusted him too quickly. Money flowed effortlessly. Within 1 year, Uzor became comfortable. Within 2, wealthy. Within 4, powerful. He built a massive house for his mother in Umuaka. People respected her now, the same people who once ignored them. He sent Ogechi abroad and enrolled Chioma in a private university in Nigeria. He called them constantly. Eat properly. Take care of yourselves, he would say. And he meant it, because Uzor genuinely loved his family. Then he married, and for the first time in years, he became happy. Real happiness. The kind that relaxes people. He laughed more. He and his wife played like children. Sometimes they threw pillows at each other and laughed until midnight. At night, they spoke about the future like it was guaranteed. But sometimes, very briefly, Uzor would feel something strange, like the happiness was being watched. Then his wife got pregnant. 7 months later, she had a miscarriage. They were completely devastated and mourned for many days. But then, they moved on. 6 months later, they were pregnant again. This time, everything was perfect. A healthy baby was born. Congratulations came from everywhere. Family, friends, and business partners. For 1 week, life finally felt complete. Then one evening, Uzor came back from work and noticed the house was too quiet. No baby crying, no movement, nothing. At first, he smiled weakly, thinking his wife finally got some sleep. But when he entered the room, something felt wrong immediately. His wife was sitting upright against the bed, the baby beside her, completely still. Ada, no response. Uzor moved closer. Then fear entered him instantly. The baby was cold, his wife too. But her eyes were still open, wide, terrified, like she died looking at something horrible. Uzor stumbled backward immediately, then rushed toward her again, shouting, crying, calling neighbors. Within minutes, people filled the compound. Someone carried the baby. Another person dragged Uzor outside when he almost collapsed. The ambulance arrived later, but deep down, Uzor already knew they were gone. The hospital became silent. Too silent. Uzor carried the baby first. His hands were shaking so badly, he almost dropped the child. The nurse tried to help him, but Uzor shouted at her, "Don't touch my son!" His voice broke instantly. He looked at the baby again. The child was still. Then he turned towards his wife. Her eyes were still open. Fear was trapped inside them. Uzor slowly touched her face. "Ada." No response. He touched her again, harder this time. "Ada, wake up." Nothing. Then slowly, Uzor collapsed beside the bed, completely. He began screaming. Not speaking, screaming. The kind of cry that comes from deep inside a person. His body shook violently. "Ada, please, wake up. Please." Doctors tried to hold him, but Uzor pushed them away like a madman. He held his wife tightly for almost 20 minutes, refusing to let anybody carry her dead body away. That night, Uzor sat alone inside the baby's room. The baby's clothes were still there. Small socks, small bottles, small blankets, waiting for a child that will never return. And for the first time in his life, Uzor became afraid of sleeping, because every time he closed his eyes, he saw his wife's face, watching him, blaming him. At night, Uzor sometimes heard footsteps inside the house, soft, slow, but whenever he opened the door, nobody was there. Then came Ogechi, found dead abroad, phone still in her hand, eyes open, like someone interrupted her mid-conversation. Sometimes his phone rang at exactly 2:13 a.m. Ogechi's number. But whenever he answered, he only heard breathing. Months later, Chioma died, locked inside her room, sitting against the wall, eyes fixed toward the door, like she had been waiting for someone to come through it. That was when fear became permanent. His mother changed afterward, quieter, absent. Sometimes she called their names, then forgot halfway. The house no longer felt peaceful. It felt occupied by memories. Memories of their smile, of their laughter, of their silly jokes. Family and friends began visiting frequently, praying and burning incense. But nothing changed, and slowly, Uzor began noticing something terrible. Everybody dying around him shared one thing. They were family, close family, the kind people cannot replace. That realization followed him everywhere until finally he returned to the shrine. Not with anger, not with confidence, but with fear. The forest felt colder than before. Even the birds there were silent. When the old priest saw him, he did not look surprised, like he already knew why Uzor had returned. Uzor sat down slowly. His eyes were swollen from sleepless nights. My wife is dead. My child is dead. The priest looked down quietly. My sisters are dead. Uzor's voice shook badly now. Then finally, he asked, "Tell me the truth. Is this thing killing my family?" The old man stayed silent for a long time. Too long. Then finally, he spoke softly. "The shrine does not take strangers. It only takes family. Father, mother, wife, child, brother, sister, one by one." Each word landed heavier than the last. Uzor stopped breathing properly. His mind began racing instantly. His father was dead already. Wife, child, sisters, all dead. Then suddenly, his entire body went cold because only one person remained: his mother. "No!" The word escaped his mouth weakly. "No, no, no." Tears filled his eyes immediately. The priest said nothing, but that silence confirmed everything. Uzor stood up slowly, like his leg no longer belonged to him. Then he turned and ran out of the shrine. He searched everywhere afterward. Native doctors, traditional healers. He got the same answer every time: "You cannot stop it. You already opened the door." And for the first time, Uzor was not trying to save himself, only his mother. He stopped sleeping properly because he no longer felt alone. Not physically, spiritually, like consequence itself had entered his life. Then, one morning, he decided to go to church. He was desperate and broken. He was driving fast, too fast. Then his phone rang. His uncle, crying uncontrollably. "Uzor! Uzor! Your mother is dead." Something inside him collapsed instantly. His hands tightened around the steering wheel. Then suddenly, somebody appeared in front of the car. Uzor screamed and yanked the steering violently. Boom! The car slammed into a parked trailer. Metal crushed instantly. Glass exploded across his face. His body jerked forward violently. Then the whole place went dark. Uzor woke up screaming, breathing violently. Sweat soaked his entire body. Morning light entered through the window. He looked around widely. Then the bedroom door opened. His mother rushed inside, alive. Behind her, Ogechi, alive. Chioma too. Then finally, his father, still sick, but alive. Uzor stared at them like he had seen ghosts. His hands were still shaking. Slowly, his mother touched his face. "Uzor, you are having nightmares again?"